Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I am your digital news desk host on this Wednesday, the 12th of March. And I'm going to say it again. I'm a broken record. I know it, but the time is going by so fast. So fast. But thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on our website or you're watching on our mobile app, I greatly appreciate you. And if you're watching on any of our social streams, whether that be Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, leave us a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I always like getting to talk to you guys during this newscast. But also, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, anything like that that you would like to add, you can always do that in the comment section. Just ask that you try to be nice, but of course, it is a free country. You can do what you want, but try to be nice. Be nice to each other. Peggy Lee here is already, and she is saying hello. Hello to you, Miss Peggy, as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, like I said, anyone else that is watching out there, let me know where you're watching from. We'll get people from all over San Diego, California. We've had some from up north. I can't remember exactly where, over in Texas. A lot of people that are maybe used to live here in Jackson or from the area and have moved away tune in a lot. So I like to see where you're watching from. James here is, I said, none other than J Town. All right, then. Well, thank you so much for watching, James. We appreciate it. Before we jump into the news, we're going to take a look outside. Let's going to look over the Mississippi River right now. Is gorgeous day out there, and if you're getting to spend your day outside, I am currently jealous of you. But this is what our view right now over the Mississippi River, a calm river, beautiful blue skies. And if we come back, let's take a look over downtown Jackson, see how it's looking from here at the WLBT studios over downtown Jackson. And as I say that, my camera is not going to load. That's okay. We have multiple cameras, and you can go see all of them on our website under First Alert Weather. You can see all of the sky cams. Well, and that one's not loading either. So it's just trying to embarrass me today. We're not going to let it. We were happy to see the Vicksburg or the river walk down in Vicksburg. A beautiful day out today. So get out and enjoy it. We are expecting some rain. We're going to look at our forecast real quickly in just a little bit. But at 2:30 today, the First Alert Weather team will be in here to give you a more in-depth look at the forecast, because we are expecting unfortunately, some severe weather to move into our area Friday through Saturday. So make sure you're back here at 2:30. Let's see. Joanne says, hello. Such a beautiful day today. It really is. Really is. Lawanda says, good afternoon. Watching from Macomb. Hello, Miss Lawanda. And Britt, love that. Britt is tuning in from Kosciuszko. Love you. Love you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for that. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the news, give you some updates of things that happened yesterday regarding the helicopter crash that happened on Monday. So the investigation is continuing into what caused the Air Care medical helicopter to crash in that remote area of Madison County. So the National Transportation Safety Board plans to survey the crash site for about a week, and they're going to do that to gather evidence. I just realized that my volume was probably up way too much for you guys. I apologize for that. But they are going to be there to survey the crash site for about a week, gathering evidence, analyzing the scene. NTSB officials say that their initial findings show the pilot stopped communicating with air traffic control when they contacted Air Care's base operations because of a flight control problem. That's when he tried to land in a nearby field, and unfortunately hit a line of trees before it crashed into the ground. A preliminary report will likely be released in the next 30 days to find out the preliminaries on why this happened. The initial report, the big main report, they said that could take anywhere from 12 to 24 months to complete. But we should be seeing a preliminary one in the next 30 days. And we are learning more about the victims that lost their life in that crash. The three men are all from Mississippi. Two of them worked with the University of Mississippi Medical Center. Now, this on your screen, this is Calvin Waslowski. He's from Starkville, and he was 62 years old. It's been confirmed that he was the pilot flying the helicopter when the crash happened. And he was with MedTrans, I believe. That's a company that he worked for. But he was from Starkville, age 62. Then we have Dustin Pope here. Dustin is from Philadelphia, age 35 years old. Dustin was, let me get back to Dustin for you. So Dustin he served as a base supervisor and a flight nurse for Air Care 3. Again, was from Philadelphia, Mississippi, a father, a wife, 3 children that he left behind. I say that just because I know connections with him. This is a very sad situation here. The next person who lost their life in this crash is 37-year-old Jacob Kent. Now, Jacob is a Tupelo native, and he was serving as a critical care paramedic. 3 on your sides. Chris Field did speak with some residents who lived close to the crash site, and they say that they are still pretty shaken up by what happened.
We heard a helicopter flying low, and then all of a sudden we heard a huge explosion.
Madison resident Wanda Cooksey was at home when the helicopter came crashing down. See, she lives just feet away from the woods where police say it happened.
We didn't find out until later that it was the helicopter that had crashed.
Cooksey walked me back to the end of her front yard where she stood trying to find out what happened.
It was back that way, but there was no smoke.
I was at home and just out walking her a little bit, and I heard a siren around 12:30, I think. And
Ken Barfoot recalls a huge, unusual first responder presence in the area that day. It was later they both learned 3 crew members on board died after the helicopter crashed. That crash claimed the life of Calvin Waslowski, Dustin Pope, and Jacob Kent. As a retired employee of UMMC, Cooksey says this tragedy really hits home in the medical community.
It was very sad to think that those folks are out trying to help someone and going to pick someone else up, and that should happen on their way to another pickup or back to their home base. So it was extremely sad.
we'll be remembering you, and it's something hard to deal with. It's really hard to deal with, especially families, but they put their life on the line every day. All the first responders do.
That they do, and we are very grateful for all of the first responders who put their lives on the line every day, and our thoughts and our prayers are still going out to the family of these 3 victims who lost their lives in this crash. First, a lot of other first responders, several law enforcement agencies took part in a procession that happened yesterday. It was escorting the victims' bodies it was escorting their bodies to the state crime lab in Pearl from the Madison County Coroner's Office. So you can see those emotional moments while first responders hugged each other as they mourn the 3 victims. And that is tough to watch. That is definitely tough to watch there. But again, our prayers are out with everybody that is affected from this, from employees, co-workers, all of the other first responders, the families of the victims. Our thoughts and our prayers definitely go out to you right now. Well, let's switch up a little bit. We're going to talk about what's happening at the Raymond Detention Center. So the duties for the federal receiver that has been put in charge of the Hinds County Detention Center, they are now beginning to take shape. So the U.S. Department of Justice filed the proposed changes of the scope of duties for the receiver who will be put in charge of the Raymond jail as part of the federal takeover. So the receiver will have all powers, authorities, rights, and privileges that are now possessed by the officers, managers, and interest holders. This includes the ability to oversee day-to-day operations. So that is something new that is happening at the Raymond Detention Center. You can see the full list of the proposed duties in this story on our website, WLBt.com. And 3 people are now behind bars. Speaking of the Raymond Detention Center, 3 people are behind bars after they were trying to sneak some contraband into the detention center on yesterday. So here they are on your screen right here. Sheriff Tyree Jones says Johnny Donaldson Jr., Quinvarius Timms, and Jalen Gray were all captured. The deputies recovered several items of contraband in the woods near the facility. Sheriff says that these 3 men were seen riding in a suspicious car, and they were detained following a brief pursuit. So the contraband that was recovered, you can see it here on your screen. It is a lot of it for sure. So it includes some cell phones, tobacco, K2 spice, meth, marijuana, cigars, and other items. So they are now in custody, and those the contraband items did not make it into the jail. Sheriff Jones also says law enforcement seized 2 pistols in the car, and 1 was stolen from the Jackson Police Department. So thankfully, they are now in custody and possibly will spend more time at the Raymond Detention Center than I'm sure they intended to, possibly. A former Pike officer has been charged with impersonation. So the officer in Pike County, the town of Summit, he's now being charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer from Louisiana. Here he is on your screen. Police in Lafayette Parish says Edwin Silence is no longer an officer with either department. However, investigators say he still had not returned several pieces of department-owned property. Deputies say at least 1 victim reported him displaying a badge and wearing a uniform in connection to a stalking complaint. 2 AR-15 style firearms and a police agency's pistol were also recovered, but now he has been charged with the impersonating of an officer, and of course, we'll continue to follow that. Also, looking at Vicksburg, there was a shooting that happened overnight in the Vicksburg area. So this happened around 11 o'clock last night. It was near Locust and Jefferson Streets. Police found a 19-year-old male suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital. Sadly, he did later pass away from his injuries. Officers determined that the incident originated inside of an apartment where a significant quantity of drugs was recovered. So if you have any information on this, you are urged to contact the Vicksburg Police Department. Now, around the same time, 2 individuals showed up at an area hospital with gunshot wounds, and they believe that they were injured in the same shooting incident. So if you have any information on this, if you know something, if you saw something, I remember it happened around 11 o'clock last night near Locust and Jefferson Streets there in Vicksburg. If you have security cameras, if you have a Ring doorbell camera, if you saw or heard something, please pass that information along to the Vicksburg Police Department so that whomever is responsible for the shootings here and the unfortunate death of this young man can be brought in to justice. And now we turn to something that came out yesterday. We found out about yesterday, and it's where the feds are asking Mississippi to repay millions in what they're saying is misspent welfare. So the Administration for Children and Families is asking the State Department of Human Services to pay more than $100 million So in a letter from the federal agency, which was obtained by 3 on Your Side, the ACF says in February of 2020, the office learned of the apparent multi-million-dollar embezzlement scheme involving misuse of TANF funds. The letter includes information on the arrest of 6 people that were charged in the scandal, including the former executive director of DHS, John Davis. Davis, Nancy, and Zach New, which you can see them here on your screen. They have all pled guilty to federal charges in federal and Hinds County Court. MDHS has said the state found in a forensic audit more than $88.4 million in misspent funds. In the letter, the ACF outlines the measures that they took to finalize their demand amount. We did reach out to the Mississippi Department of Human Services for comment, and we were told at this time it is inappropriate for MDHS to comment regarding outgoing negotiations on an ongoing legal matter. So that is where we are at right there with that. And we're going to continue to follow it. As a matter of fact, Friday here on WLBT Plus at 1 o'clock, we will have Mississippi State Auditor Shad White joining us. And I'm sure that we will ask him some questions about this, find out, maybe try to get some more details from him on this, and also talking to him about other things that he has going on in his role as state auditor and other information that he has put out in his role as state auditor. So you want to make sure you're here for that. Again, it's this Friday at 1 o'clock, and it will be Mississippi State Auditor Shad White joining me on the show. Before we look at the weather real quick, let's hear from our sponsor, Jxn Water.
At Jxn Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jxn Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jxn Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. It is greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and look at our forecast right now, see what the temperatures are feeling like outside at this moment. We're in the about the same as we were yesterday, actually, sitting in the mid 70s and a lot of sunshine going on out there. If we look at our radar, you can see that we don't have any rain in the area, nor are we expecting any rain over the next 12 hours. As you can see here, well, it made me a liar. At 1 o'clock, there's a 20% chance of rain. But for the most part, we're not expecting any rain into the late into the night hours. Going to be dropping down to the mid 60s. What we are concerned about and really paying attention to is the rain that we are expecting on Friday and Saturday. We have called they are first alert weather days here for us. And so you can see we got that 50% on Friday, 70% on Saturday. They are expecting some of those storms to be severe. We're talking all means of severe weather, where tornadoes, hail, high wind, things such as that. You'll be able to get more details on that, though, if you tune in at 2:30 and have a chat with our First Alert weather team, because they will be here then to give you an in-depth look at the forecast and hopefully be able to time it out for you a little better. I know the farther away you are from the date, it's harder to pinpoint things, but we are getting closer and the forecast models are lining up a little more. So make sure you're here at 2:30 to hear from the First Alert weather team on the severe weather that we could have coming into our area. Now we're going to talk to you about a group of residents who are in South Jxn and they're doing what they have to do to help fight the blight.
Fight the Blight, a year-long investigation from WLBT. 3 on your side.
And our Fight the Blight year-long investigative series continues. A group of South Jxn residents are banding together to stop illegal dumping in their neighborhood. The eyesore is raising the ire of those who live there. So, Jackson police have made a recent illegal dumping arrest, thankfully, based off of dumping that was done on Glen Aaron Street, thanks to some vigilant residents. However, despite the the efforts to report the crimes, it does continue to happen there. Someone recently, they actually dumped a heavy-duty long bed truck in the front yard of a burned and abandoned house at the intersection of Monticello Drive and Glen Aaron. That's a big thing to dump. So the wreckage was dropped at a notorious dump site that the city has repeatedly cleaned. South Jxn resident Kenneth Boyer and his neighbors hold regular community cleanups in the area, and they say that they're upset with outsiders dumping this trash in their neighborhood just out in the open.
I seen a school bus go past here when I was parked here, taking photos of that. And I can only imagine what the kids actually see on a daily basis. We're setting an example for them. If we allow this to happen.
It's like nobody cares about anything no more. And we can clean it up. We have to help each other because we got for what I can see.
The Boyer and Judge are coordinating. They're now coordinating to participate in another area cleanup, hoping to do their part to help fight the blight. Residents say it is an ongoing problem and that could be fixed with the help of leaders and officials. And of course, Fight the Blight is, as I said before, it's a series that we are doing all year long here at WLBT to help bring light to these areas and hopefully make some positive change for the better, to moving as we move forward to get rid of some of these blighted areas in our community and to help Jackson clean up and just be a more beautiful city aesthetically wise, and then also safety wise, because it's not safe having all of these abandoned buildings that invites crime into the area, among other things. So keep with us. We do these every Tuesday. Of course, it's Wednesday here. I'll put it on my show on Wednesday, but every Tuesday during our newscast, you'll be able to see a new story of a new area here within the city of Jackson, where we are highlighting that blighted area, that blighted community, blighted property, and hopefully making a positive change and moving forward. If you want to go to our website, if you have an area rather that you would like for us to look at or talk to us about, you can go to our website and do that. Now you can do it by two different ways. Or if you go right here, you can scan the QR code and it will take you right to that page. But if you just go to our website, and let me get this pulled up here to show you where you can go. So if you just go to our website, WLBt.com, you can see here is our website, and along the top line, you see First Alert Weather, Jackson Bribery Scheme, Fight the Blight. And if you click on, I'm not showing you my screen, am I? Here we go. If you click on Fight the Blight, you scroll down and there is a form that you can fill out, and we will contact you about the area that you are talking about, the eyesore that you are giving us the information on. But tune in with us every Tuesday at 6 o'clock to get the latest story in the series that we're doing to fight the blight. So as we get ready to close out here on WLBT Plus, there is something fun that is happening Friday night, and I really hope that the rain and storms and clouds don't mess it up for us, and we'll get to see it. But it is a full lunar eclipse, and we are in the path of the totality to be able to see this lunar eclipse. So it is March's full moon is called the worm moon. It's extra special because of the total lunar eclipse. So this is the first one in nearly 3 years to be visible across the U.S. So this Friday, March 14th, the moon will look like a striking red color. I'm sure you've heard the term the blood moon. But the total eclipse happens when the moon is full and it aligns perfectly with Earth and the sun, unlike a solar eclipse. I'll get the words out in a second. Unlike a total solar eclipse, this celestial event doesn't require special eyewear, but it does require that the clouds not be in the way. So hopefully at 2:30, our first alert weather team can give us some good news to tell us that the clouds will be out of the way during the lunar eclipse, so we can get out and watch it if you want to. Otherwise, be safe in the storms. Again, 2:30 today, first alert weather team will be here. So make sure you're back to hear about the forecast, get more details on that. Friday, I will have State Auditor Shad White on with me to talk about a multitude of things and topics. So make sure you are tuned in for that. And I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock with another show. We inch ever so close to the weekend. I hope you all have a great day. Get outside and enjoy this wonderful weather while you can before the storms come in. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.